Hi everyone, so we are working on our postcard designs with a location of choice. It can be from real life or fantasy. I chose Salem, Massachusetts, so I drew my design in pencil first, inked it with Sharpie, added the drop shadow, and then I used my watercolor pencils to add some color in the detailed areas. I did a lot of color layering, a lot of detail, a lot of shading. Right, and here's the bottom. Now comes the fun yet nerve-wracking part where we add water. To really blend these designs out and make them look like watercolor. So you're gonna need a really tiny brush and some water. And you just have to be a little bit strategic about this. So I just blended my fire down here under my cauldron and the background on the top. I have to let this dry before I move on to the objects that are touching them, like the cauldron and the steam coming off of it. If I was to wet those two spots now, they would blend in with the other two spots that I've already wet, if that makes sense. So you have to kind of pick and choose, let the individual areas dry, and then go back over the objects that are next to them. So here I could either do the broom or the background. I'll do the background. So I dip in water and I very carefully blend in those colors. I had like a green glow going. So I'm gonna color in the background all around the broom and the eyeballs there. As you can see, I went for a spooky look for Salem, which is known for their witch tours and history. So I'm going around very carefully, blending those colors together even more, going around the eyeballs. It's hard because you worked so hard on your piece that I know it's nerve-wracking to add water to it and to be scared that you might smudge it, but it is worth it. Right, so I just did the background around there. You can see how blended it is. Going to the next space here, I might just do the little mushrooms. Let's see if I can get you closer. So I'm going very carefully, blending those. And just take your time, go object by object. And then go in for the background. Rinse your brush in between, just like you would if you were using traditional watercolor, right? So I was just using that orangey red on the mushrooms. I don't want that to bleed into my skull, so I washed my brush. I might go on to the gems in this M here. I'll do the gems and the candles first, and then when that dries, I'll go back in for the background. But once you get the hang of this, it's actually really fun to blend these out. I'm gonna wash my brush there, going from a warm to cool color. And obviously for the moon here, I did use a watercolor colored pencil blend, and I could get a much bigger brush for that area, of course. And the background, I will just use traditional watercolor to probably make some type of a fade. This eyeball in the center, I wasn't sure what color to use, so I actually used loads of colors to see what they would make. And it's actually turning out quite cool. So just take your time, wash your brush, and alternate objects so that way they don't bleed into one another.